without having converted the narcissist into a humane being, which is her profound responsibility. She does quality control. Otherwise, there's a world flooding full of non-human entities, basically. And if you can imagine, see, men have a harder time finding their own intelligence when they're born. They're not born into their own intelligence. I try to explain this. See, this needs to be talked about more because there's a backdrop here on this plane that uses human flesh to do the warring and pretty much everything else that is to the tune of, now let's open the Epstein files, that is actually thousands and thousands and thousands year old account of an occupation that is farming the place up to eat them, just basically to talk about basics of eating the way that they eat. They are like vampires, and they do everything from suck the blood to literally, you can feel an energy vampire in your own life. How's your narcissist doing? I want to talk directly to your women. When you're having the kids, they're not what you think they are. You're regenerating basically a PC, a potential to be programmed and then to start operating in a certain way. In fact, with that too, see, it comes with its own programming. It's a machine. It's a PC. And it has an allotted time here that you don't govern. In fact, the creators have governed it all. You don't own any of them. They own it. There were intelligent women on the plane who controlled births, and therefore they were controlling everything, down to everything. I mean, it's hard to explain, but why not? And see, what you see out there right now, working for a satanic entity that wants all of our resources and opportunities to be just completely messed up, for us to just sabotage ourselves. That's basically how that entity works. If you've ever been in the presence of the diabolical, they tend to bring that out in you, unless you know like the certain route. Of course, it helps to not be emotionally invested or expecting of anything, right? You could just mind your own business, and you're like ships passing in the night. Sometimes you just get so much as a glance, and you just kind of get the feeling, right? I don't know about you, but I've learned a lot over the past 5 years, and it's like, yeah, no, you get the feeling that if you give them an inch, they'll try and take a mile, and that is of your fucking soul and your blood and all of your happiness and light. So again, now you can't, you women, will you please knock it off? This is what's ending up of it all. You're just making little fresh little cartons of souls to hand over to the military, and now we get to hear all the loosh coming out of that, and Satan is just eating it up because nobody is really happy. Oh no, it's a big drama, right? It's a big drama. Oh, people are being killed in wars. They have a number. It's somewhere in the fucking tens of hundreds of billions now. Somebody having fun in the background, I hope. Are they really? Was there an orgasm involved in your love making there to where the head came out? And here, hand them over to the government. There. Oh, I'm sorry, babes. You know what? That hasn't been happening for very long. Not really. I mean, I'm sure there was a past where we had leaders and they had armies called men, but that's when women were in power. And we don't really even know. We just don't know. We don't know. By the time we get 300 years, 400, 500, 600 years in the past, all we remember in history is, oh, it was a traumatic time. Yep, they killed all the women back then. Or no, it was a traumatic time. Yep, they killed all the people with long hair back then. See, and that's all we can remember. We don't really remember the technologies that were going on back then or anything. And why it starts from living in caves at one point. Maybe we didn't always live in caves. Maybe we were pushed back into caves. There is so much evidence across the globe where you can see something, a human culture, was running from something, and you could see how they climbed up and they and they hid, and they made certain ways to traps to not get into their built villages, and they killed whatever came because they knew that that thing was just coming to get them, to eat them. And so now, what do you think we have going now? Oh my God, what we have going now is a total farming operation. The people, say like Jim Carrey, that work for the big business, right, to keep people entertained and distracted, is like, for the first time we saw it just straight out. He sent a clone out and said, "Go get that stupid fucking award in France. I don't care for it. Who gives a fuck?" See, awards and awards, getting your plaque, that's all very childish shit. It's childish. Otherwise, you're a human being and you've done what you're supposed to do, and you're not waiting for any accolades or merit for that, because you know you're a badass, and everybody else, of course, they want to be you. And it's called being alert, aware, on it, available, and you save the day. Right? And so, no, Jim Carrey is, leave it to him. You know, he could make a huge impact by just doing a simple thing like that and not even mean it. But he can legally do that, I think. Just send somebody out that looks like him. And he doesn't have to say, well, Jim Carrey is sick of everything. He could just say, Jim Carrey is sick today, so he can't come over. I don't know, whatever. And who cares, right? I mean, just leave it all open. Because you want to make people think out of the box. But see, who's impressed with the overload, what they call Babylon, which, now let me go get my chalkboard. Put the L down, put the O up. Now we're just looking for birds in the words, right? Baby, on. On means like lit up, right? It means applied, right? And so again, if you would like to end Babylon, you would have to end so many of the baby ons. I hate to say it, and I didn't just say that I'm against life. No, I'm actually for actual life. I'm for having a very fulfilled, real life. See, too much we hear, and it's not me just talking, babes. Don't kill any one messenger at this one point. At this point, because basically the truth is the truth is the truth. And there are people who are devoting themselves to just looking at what is. Okay, and this is what is in the word Babylon. Otherwise, we don't know what Babylon means. Really, blah, 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 right? Yeah, of course. Bah, 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 bah. Have you ever heard ghosts, man? They start sounding like that. Pretty soon it's like, oh, that's your Babylon up there, babes. Fuck. Babes, we've seen it too much where some women, it's completely glorified in their heads, and then they're like, I didn't know it would be like this. What? That you'd be left alone and there's an asshole over there going, because it's like, ages old, where men hold it against women and they treat them like shit. Sorry, this is hardly fucking 10 minutes. And hey, if you don't know that side, well, no, that's really what's going on. Some men are like, huh? I had no idea. And it's like, well, it's true though, see, but do you have a false sense of superiority where you just think that everything's just fine when really it's not? And that's why problems keep coming up. Sorry. I'm just getting tired of like seeing the obvious. It's like, well, then, but, oh, it's circling back to women. And of course, the big thing that comes up, I mean, for the oracles, it's coming up, you'll see it. Stop the patriarchy. What about the matriarch? See, all of this is just another way of saying, what about the opposites? You know, what about the two that are here See, babes, now one of the videos I did make, I don't know if you've seen it, but it does start to talk about the natural order of things, which is completely lost. And now, in the beginning, I was trying to tell you, we're just PCs. We are, in effect, programming each other. But see, here's how it happens naturally, without a try. For women, because they're the ones that are having children here. Men can't. So it would be important to build them this way. That at the very least, the woman's side, see, when she's being carried inside of her own embodiment, her mother, she's learning through vibrational frequency everything that she'll need to learn about her being, everything that she'll need to learn is being installed very much like a PC that it has like a blank piece of tape, and then now you're programming it based in the vibrational frequency, and it does include the mother's mood. It's well known that the fetus can actually listen to the same music in a more profound way that what the mother is listening to, right? People heard that, it's happening, of course. And then there's the programming, see, and if you can imagine, the man is getting a lot of that, but where is it going? See, the main thing is that their tape is staying blank because they are not getting the man's DNA signal in there. Well, here's what's happening, okay? We're talking about DNA, and this is the truth, and they don't talk about it. The woman's DNA, what she passes on to another child, is both the male and female. The male carries mainly the female's vibrational genes, the mother's genes. Isn't that weird? And there is a flippity reversal thing. That's kind of the shape of the DNA, and it seems like it contradicts what I said there, but no, it makes sense. See, that tape is the mother's frequency, and he has to kind of go and search for his physical self, what he will be doing with his physical aperture in that lifetime, and also the mentality. And he doesn't get that from the mom. He gets all of her genes, all of her vibrational frequency, like mama. And that's what he passes on, all of his mother's genes on to the next generation. And the female is actually carrying the males, her dad's, and her mother's. So it's kind of a trip that way. That's just what scientifically they've found. The male holds all of the mother's genes. And see, that's kind of cool because it's the mother who is the leader. It's the woman who is if we're talking about like tribal leaders, armies, it is the woman that leads pretty much everything. If it's a household, the woman is the one doing quality control. She makes sure that things aren't poisoned first before they get cooked. She's the protector. She makes sure the man isn't overworking, but that's her job, whether she's in a tribe or not. That's just who she is. But is that well known? There's a lot of people right now going, they're jamming, their fucking programming is going, screech, boing, especially a man. He's like, man, some way we get to her and bleed her dry. Women mature early on, later in life, about 45, and in fact, they teach the younger men. That's just a natural way that happens sexually. It's just, that's the way it is. And if you can imagine a society that accepts this natural order of things, that you do not see it, a sign of it, not really, not at all. It is horrible in the West, the United States, for some reason, whatever it is. Well, it's everywhere. There's always this possibility that the feminine, the true empowered ones in position of power who have children and that empower themselves. They say, and they say, in fact, I don't have to look at any of you men. None. I don't have to. See, there isn't a have to. See, the way that the church, and you'll see it coming up more, there's more material that's trying to come up that says, no, I think that it's different for women. They don't really like chase after men. Not the way that men are thinking that, they're very full of energy and they want, see, what about that? They want that they have an ambition to make it next to the superior woman, the woman that, in fact, other women look up to them. Now, do we even have that happening in society? The fucking answer is no. What I see is women that are in competition with each other, right? And that's weird because, I don't know, I don't have anything to do with any of them. I say that both of them have a chance to become human beings, simply purely aware, and when are we going to get near that subject matter? Because then you can start working out, well, where is everybody on what level? And admit it, your children know better when they start showing an interest in something that is actually, because they're being inspired by someone that is more real. And see, the tribe does not deny their kids viewing or having an experience with that. In fact, there isn't any such thing as like being jealous of somebody else because of their rank, right? Because it's known, okay, let's talk about intellectual property and just, okay, is there a CIA, a Central Intelligence Agency? What do they do? You know what I mean? Do they, are they doing the essential work and keeping a little encyclopedia and notes about what has happened due to having followed the ones who were leading the way and doing things correctly? Kind of the good results were happening in their experiments. But I hope you're following me, babes. This comes up and it's kind of itching in me now because I do, and you do too. You have an autobiography and it's probably not the same as mine. It's interesting though. I would love to share with people my autobiography. And it kind of makes me wheezy to think about how that it will be judged. But it's like, no, I just want to tell you a story. It has nothing to do with anything but what was coming up from within me and how I was handling it. And so I won't talk about that much. I mean, gosh, if I want to make money, I guess if people are interested, they would pay $20 to get in, and like $20 a month to listen to my stories that are more personal, that kind of explains a lot about like who I am and why I'm the way I am today, which none of it is that, and then I went to this university for 8 years and I studied this and that. Nope. It's more like, I used to set my clock for 2:45 in the morning when I was a little girl, and I used to sneak out and I used to walk the streets. One time I did it in a fucking storm, right? And nobody knew I was sneaking around except for, I think, my neighbors saw it. And they said, well, but they saw some things, right? And they were always trying to catch me doing things on my own, right? And that's just, I don't hold that against me or for me. I just say that's what happened. And there's a reason why God had me doing that. I mean, my mom was fading out as far as becoming wheelchair bound, and she would die early at 62. And she was very, very adventurous herself. She was probably doing the same thing when she was a kid, just sneaking around and doing things. And so anyway, I don't care what people think, really. At this point, when we're 51 or 52, it's actually like, it's really important to relay the right information, and hopefully it hits at least one ear that makes a person go a certain way. That, see, what we have here is just high numbers of shit. It's just sand, and then every once in a while you'll find a jewel, and see what we have going on through a technological base that is actually trying to work like that. Where, okay, so when you have the many, Babylon, and everybody is dealing with a handicap. So now the trend for the PC, the programming, is to feel sorry for them, to actually care for, right? And I know this sounds crazy, but it's like, no, that's a machine that's glitching and broken down. Imagine your amplifier or your PC that is no longer able to hold memory. It just doesn't work. The buttons are fade out. Some of the pieces are dropping. The wires are frayed, but it's kind of working. Now, are you going to hire a bunch of people and have all kinds of, oh, computer, you know, the life that you did live, I love you, I'm going to sit next to this broken down fucking thing. Babes, it's going to be, I tried to tell you in one video about the future, about euthanasia and stuff. It's not going to be that way anymore. And it may perfect itself to the point of like, where it's like, okay, does this one have a diabolical inkling in it? If it does, zap it! There, done. Now what? Hi. You know, we just don't know what's the possibility, and we don't want to know because we are working with a possibility that we do know, and that's the one we choose. As far as doing the essential work, choosing, is it a good work? I would say that that's the one that we align with because we are healthy. Now, getting back to the non-presence of women in society. And then the continuing on of just seeing these men trying to justify talk. And they're all talking, where are women, babes? Where are they? I'm here, and let me tell you what's happened to me in the past 6 months, year. Well, it was on Valentine's Day that I was swung and handcuffed and put in jail by a man who, well, they opened up a contract out on me, and there's a lot of discrepancies that happened in the beginning, and all I have to do now is just get transcripts and really make the lawyers who are supposed to work free help me with that, because I can't afford to get it. I can't get anybody to give me $100 extra on what I'm scratching by here. It should not be happening like this for me. I would be rewarded in the future 20, 30 years from now. For what, Shauna? Rewarded what? Oh, I would be given, I wouldn't be sitting here without, with leaks in my roof. And everybody else huffing and puffing, especially if they've had kids and stuff and they're doing the money thing. See, I chose to not do that life, but it means that I get, I don't want to say royalties, but I get a kickback because I'm a shaman. The people that don't have kids, usually they're recognized, and they always have been. This is the truth. This is so controversial. I don't like the subject matter at all. It's none of anybody's business, really. I mean, we'd like to think so, but why do we think like that? Aren't we fucking tired of walking around in a goddamn maze full of dummies that think, it's none of my business, it's none of anybody's business? From cradle to grave, what the fuck? And in the background, let's not forget the Epstein files, which is not about the Epstein files. It's about a thousands and thousands and thousands of year old occupation that is eating these people up. Blindly, you're being farmed, and see the diabolical, that vibrational frequency. It's hard to explain this, but it's coming right through the money that you touch. Right through it. It's a holographic field. It's hard to explain. But like some things you just don't want to handle because it's in connection with, say, Satanism and the one that likes to torture and the one that likes to bring people down, the one that, is using women as an incubator, that doesn't like women, empowered women. It doesn't, just fuck that fucking parasitical retard. Because when you're healthy, when you're human, it's not an issue. You are now in full alignment and getting your education through having interacted with each other. It isn't like, okay, now let's go over here to the school and sit in the classroom and with the buzzing sound and listen to the dumb fucking narcissist up there doing cognitive dissonance across the board for the Rockefellers. Boy, do we have a lot to untangle. How is it ever going to happen for any of us? Here's how. They released a bunch of people took a vaccine. In fact, it's time release. Those people are written off already. In fact, whatever allows other organizations to stick you with things that changes your bodily, changes you a bit. Basically, they're see, like a PC, they're grabbing onto you and say, no, this is my machine now. and something intergalactically, I don't know how, but says, oh, okay, because somebody consented. You personally, as a machine, said, okay, and you might have done it against your will somehow, but you wanted to make the money, right? You wanted to stay in the fake education system there, or you wanted to stay in the fake medical, and it's all completely fucking fake. It is running only because of the too many. There's just so many. What are we going to do with the next generation of fucking people that are pumping kids out? Will you stop? It is such a beautiful life to be able to love somebody else's children without having children, to be able to love everybody, and it's a beautiful life to see, though, on the other side, which isn't so peaches and cream, that, in fact, thank God it's a fucking short trip here, and do as much as you can to wake these fucking people up. Because where are they getting those heads, my dear? Where did they get the head that went and killed the head over there, and that head that killed that head, and then the heads that think that they are in just too much. It's just too much, babes. Now, the science that we are heading for too, also, this is very difficult, right? It's just hard. But we're brushing on that we do euthanasia when we see there's a glitch. Some people, like my mom, when she was bedridden and she fucking stuck it out, and she stuck it out because I'm sure that her programming is like this. It's like this. Well, see, they want to see a future or something, and it keeps them hanging on, but the fact is that her life was taken. And I'm pretty sure that multiple sclerosis and all the symptoms that come from there's many different types of ways that it can hit. They're finding out that it's autoimmune deficiency, and they're finding out what that is coming from vaccines and things that are being inserted on a nanoparticulate matter, that it just so happens that body didn't take it very well. And there is a cure for it, really easy too, that she never got. And because of her programming, I mean, she would continue to kind of smoke cigarettes and drink a little wine, and that doesn't help. And back in the day, right? I mean, so much experimenting that we've been through, and now it's the look of it is here. And some of us may or may not have gotten hit bad. A lot of people are like, what are you talking about? No, this is the fucking world you live in. And you see a lot of people living in denial. Oh man, I can't fucking stand these people. I guess they're from the 60s, right? But no, I've seen them my age, and they have this same vibrational frequency. Now I'm looking at a fisheye. These eyes are cold. You can find a little humanity in there and warm them up a bit with a little humor, but that's a very fleeting situation. I mean, you get the feeling that they're like, okay, so then bye. Oh, I'll see you next time. It's like, well, where are we going? I'm just sleeping over here and you're sleeping over there. But are we living in two different fucking worlds? And the answer is yes, because of their programming. And so some of them are very militant. In the background, it's just a cold, calculated thing that doesn't understand much. Sorry. It didn't breed under love. It bred like a business. It's like, we've got to do this. Hopefully we have boys, right? Because they work harder. And it's like, babes, but women actually work more efficiently, and they can use a robot and make it do it better through their ability to do quality control. Now, I just got the visual of a woman slipping herself into a man's body and saying, like this. And it's kind of like that. I mean, it has to be that way. That's the part of the natural order of things. The man doesn't know what he's doing unless he goes through an alive woman. Otherwise, he's liable to do something stupid. Includes overwork and all this fucking shit. So I when they talk about overpopulation, what do you think? Yeah, it is. Yep. Women are doing it haphazardly just because they can. They have some kind of weird shit going on in their heads, and then has it turned out anything like you thought? I mean, is that like the biggest lesson for some women, is to go oops, and then they go, oh no, this is really difficult. There are great moments, of course, but you can have those great moments with other people, and you should. Otherwise, you're selfish. You're doing emotional incest and all of it. I mean, it's such a sick society. Okay, excuse me. Will you stop? See, the problem is you don't know anything better, right? You don't know. You've never had enough freedom. You didn't reach for your creative life. You didn't find God and or love. Because that will make you decide, like, oh, is it even necessary? Is it safe or anything? See, I get the idea. See, I hate this video because it's like, no, I don't relate with a lot of women out there. No, the main thing that I see is that they didn't learn something, a skill. Like, they're not even teaching their kids anything but how to be this dispensary. And if it's a boy that they have there, that I'm trying to tell you the natural order of things, that the boy isn't supposed to be hanging around that from day one up. Because he's lost there. She is ruining his life if she does not almost violently push him away into the man's world. However that fucking works in this goddamn culture today. It's so fucked up. But the only answer is don't do it. What do you want? You want accolades, right? You want attention. You want an award or something? Well, here's your fucking award. Yay, I didn't go for the first compulsory suggestion that says that I know how to do it. How does a fucking cool award look? I don't know. It's got little bells. Here you go. Ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding, ding, ding. Whee! Yay! I am here as a gardener, and I made it safe for everybody. Everybody come. I play music. I garden. I'm a woman. I knit clothes. This is who I am. Then it's safe for people to come around and look and see the life around you instead of just you holding a kid going, did it! Didn't even make the clothes. You're not even making the food. Shame on you fucking people. And there's a lot of price to pay now. We have like an alien goddamn fucking civilization. Because nobody knows how to do anything but fuck and reproduce. And man, where I'm living, down in hIT, if you ever come to the United States and you want to go to see a real life freak show, go to hIT, California, and look around there. I mean, you love people and everything, but it's a double take. And I don't know if it's the United States that is left this way, that it's just a massive vat of weird looking fucking people. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I was thinking this morning, it's like, this can't be real. Who is that person's mother and father and grandfather and grandmother? Who are they? Like, who are they that they are these clowns working at a hobby shop that don't even know where the fuck they are there? I love everybody, and I'm sure God has a plan for everybody just like for me. But are they going to make it to the courthouse and start complaining and saying, excuse me, but this is weird, and how's your life? You're trying to convince me that you're more real than me, when really this place is about to all just be raked over because it's wrong. You're defending the diabolical, the women. It's so fucking gross. Man, all I can say is if anybody can hear me and relate with me in my local area in the mountain, and you want a good deal for a room to rent, if that's all you're doing is renting a home and you're paying too much, now, do you want a cool experience? I think that I can offer a good experience just, hey, you can live here, I'll help out. See, it would help me out to have that, and then see, what I would do is just get into my routine, but I would love for other people to get into it. It's like, okay, we need to go get wood, collect it up for the winter. It's not hard. And see, we stay warm here, we fucking make sure the water's clean, we eat food, and I have the place to stay. It sounds pretty easy, right? Don't you think? But see, my problem is I don't make money. I find it difficult nowadays. It's been difficult for the past 4 years. All my support, it's diabolical. So people are, it's just geared right now, especially. No, I'm not going to get much. It's the heat is on and the enemy says, fuck you, I do not want you to raise up nothing, and I don't want you to be you, and I don't want you to have your life, and whatever's happening for you, I don't want it, whatever it is. I want what I want of you, of me, and I want what I want you to give me of you. And it's like, too bad. And it's too bad. Who would have ever expected it to be like this when we were adults, that we just can't meet each other and we can't really be with each other? Oh, unless you're doing that hideous fucking bondage, and now, oh, you're just actually stuck together. You didn't realize that you didn't like each other until it was too late. Now you're in bondage. Oh, and the family thing. Oh, yeah. No, that's diabolical. The family is unreal. Mothers and fathers are unreal. The highest possible role, Aquarius information, that you can become to one another is simply a good friend. A good friend is somebody who is achieved in love as love. It is just a human being. On this plane, there are non-human beings and humane beings. I hope you learned something today. You just have to keep repeating it. It's the truth. Your subject matter of narcissism and how difficult it is. Now, I hate the subject matter. Because why? Well, it gets you in trouble when you start talking about, well, narcissism is the man's disease. And it's really going to get me in trouble when I say, and the planet is planet narcissism, a goddamn cage. You women, would you stop a bit? Some of them don't even know how to have sex with you. But then you had a kid with it? That's your fault, but why do I have to fucking sit and pay the price of the paradigm that comes up with that? With one of the main things is all of the heavy-duty prices. The prices, the inflation, the money. It costs so much for an apple. You know why? It's because there's so many people. That's supposed to be energy. That's supposed to be hands doing things like growing apples, but they don't. So that's just what they call a useless eater. Sorry, but that's kind of what they say. See, the thing that you live in, if you're 40 or 50 years old, you're listening to it now. Yeah, you've heard about climate change, useless eater, be resilient, do essential work. What we have is like the enemy is saying one thing, climate change, the benevolent is saying, yeah, right, whatever, be resilient. The enemy is saying one thing, and you're in the middle going, cha-ching, maybe, I don't know. Watch out. Find out what people really are doing in the mountains. It's the world condensed. Where I'm at, it's like, and here it is. It's just a machine, a fucking machine. And the gears are these little heads, these little fucking bots, mainly men. Why? Well, somehow they made it two words. Like they make us think that, oh, they're the only ones that can push the metal around and push the screws around. It's like, nah, we can make robots that do that better than men, and men know that too. I mean, look at the way that there's a factory that builds cars, and some men refuse to believe that there are robots right now that can repair each other and program each other, and they'll never break down. And that's what's scary, that they can become better and more efficient than the men themselves, I guess. But no, that's true. Yeah, that's why you've seen that movie AI. I don't know. I don't watch these movies, but it's there. And oh boy, what a weird time, right? I didn't ever want to have anything to do with this. My autobiography entails being wary that way. It's going, oh no, I see something trippy going on, and I don't see. I didn't anyway. Let me do a little astrology. See, we do have Mars in Pisces, which is a very trippy place for Mars to be. And then we have Venus we have Mars in a sign that is co-ruled by Venus. And then we have Venus in a sign that is ruled by Mars. And it's called mutual reception, but like a cancellation or something. I don't know, because they're kind of detriment there. So, but in a way, they kind of are going to do something very useful for us energetically. And so with that, just keep an eye on the feminine and how that it switches over. That, see, it's Mars ruled. So Mars is in a Neptune ruled sign, and then when you look at Neptune and Saturn together, it's Mars ruled in Aries. See, Venus is about to conjunct the Neptune Saturn conjunction. In fact, it's about happening now, but I think actually it happens in March here. Venus enters into Aries. You'll feel the switch and feel it by the 7th of March here. And it's actually going to conjunct Neptune and Saturn on Sunday, on the 8th. And if you ask me, it is one of the biggest spiritual movements that the feminine is going to experience. And it's not any one woman that's going to say, it's not really a woman deciding to say it. Oh, me, no, this is a cosmic energy that's coming up out of the feminine. And I bet you men can feel something of it at all. They can. I don't know. But no, it has to do with the woman's side and her wisdom and all of it. And see, a man cannot come up with it. He has his side that has infected the world, and it's mainly philosophy. It's mainly the man's side that sits there and talks about the mind, how important it is to cater to the mind. You want to look at all thoughts and then make sure that there's so many positive thoughts. You want to have more positive, just make it all positive thoughts rather than negative thoughts. And it's like, babes, that's a man right there. That's the mind. You get away from catering to the mind. Otherwise, the mind will have you catering to it. And of course, you're putting a thought here and you're putting a thought there. And where's reality? You're putting a thought here and you're putting a thought there, and in the meantime you're dressing yourself up, you have your tie, and now you're a dolly, and in reality you are as unreliable as fucking Jello trying to be nailed to the wall. Because you should treat all thoughts the same quality, because they are all the same quality, like phantoms and dreams, substance they have none. See, that's the woman's side. She says, no, you get into your body and you start having experiences and you learn, and it's not a thought or a belief. It's just, boom, I got it. I understand that certain patterning now, and I know. Boom, each time I can flip the egg just like that, and the fucking thing lands, and it's just, we make it look easy, don't we? Now, a man could be jealous of that. She's doing that at the age 5 because she was born from her own intelligence. She was installed, and then her mom is automatically. If she's a sociopath, like a completely disconnected mom, there could be problems, yeah, after she's born, of course, and it does happen. There's what is called dead women having children. The dead woman, and is it their choice? No, see, Christ Jesus says while they were killing her, said, no, and this is not your fault. You are forgiven, by the way. You just don't know what you're doing. You just don't know. Bye, I'll go to sleep for you, but my fragrance leaves after a while, and what we have left is something that will, for 2026 years, continue on to create such a racket that all it's doing it completely transparently. I think it was like up to 1,500 years ago, they started just saying, no, this is the criminal justice system. No, we are doing this, and we sign, and you pay taxes to do this, and they do certain wording. How about the We the People Constitution? That was theirs. Who's theirs? Okay, you see it mainly men, but no, they are being governed by a diabolical entity in the background that is parasitical. It's just a parasite. Now, you want to talk about parasites? What the hell is that? Pardon me, my party favor thing looks like a damn diabolical entity. Sorry. Yep, the word of the year is diabolical, okay? So I was going to show you the word parasite. Now, this is a word, para. Para means like parallel. Para. It like means two, TWO, or like two, like that too. Parallel, see, there's one, and then there's one that, is it similar? It isn't similar because it's in a different place. See, para and then site. Site, STITE, that means a place. A place, and so keep working it in your head what that precisely means and how easy it is to begin to manage the satanic part that is infecting. In fact, I think it starts in the guts, and then if you get rid of certain things that make you think a certain way. I don't know. It's you are immersed in a certain thought that brings an emotion, and that is completely false. And so now you have an opening that where you're not really coherent with reality and the true light. You are now a depressed or something, and then some other things can get in and suggest things, and that's very much what we're talking about, is the satanic cult that says, well, no, 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 like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it closed. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They didn't let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Now, Rudolph is just one that sees a little better. He is a black sheep. He is a light that is not handled by those little reindeer, right? But see, then one foggy Christmas Eve, no one could see, but he could very much so see. Rudolph kept getting dissed by the playground bullies, all the reindeer and all that shit. And so he was sitting there, and it was bleak, right? Nebulous. He was suffering imposter syndrome, basically. There was a foggy. It was very like Neptune. I just went through this. I was like, no, I guess I'm a piece of crap. And then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Satan, hey bitch, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Just see, didn't know that that was temptation right there. And of course, once that the other reindeer see that the teacher accepts Rudolph, then of course they don't have a mind of their own. They're just the mob, and they say, oh, of course. Then all the other reindeer shouted out with glee. But see, you have to go through the story of that Rudolph was harnessed up. He's grabbed by the satanic alliances there and said, you lead. That's exactly the story of Christ. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the very story of Christ that the satanic cult uses and says, no, we are, bless you, no, Jesus, Christ, in the name of Lord Jesus. And they put that right in the front, and that's who's going to seem like that is coming down your chimney. Why can't they just knock on the door and say, here's a cool gift? See, that chimney part is like, it seems a little sneaky. Like, did we really want the gift? Why couldn't we just have an eye-to-eye that day? And why do I have to set something out for a fucking stranger to take? And when really, why can't they confront me? And why do I have to pay taxes? Anyway, no, that's the story of Satan taking over all of these people. Okay, so there's Jim Carrey. All of the people that are talented in something that, they can lead other people. They can set an example of how to express, how to impact, how to influence. And you too can have this, is mainly what they would say, especially if it was a Christ aware. And but no, those are systematically, if not whacked down by the Manny. You have so many, there's a possibility that one will fucking find it. It could be like your good family friend that finally comes over and says, and tries to tell you, the way that they gave, and they always gave, what a bunch of idiots, right? They gave money to people that were needy. That right there, right now, right? That was stupid, right? And even if it was your family, they're trying to tell you, your family was totally dumb doing that. And you have to sit there and go, but my family's dead now, but I'm certainly not going to depend on you for sweat in 120-degree weather if we really needed it, the moisture, because first of all, you're not human and they don't sweat very well. And second of all, we don't count on you in knowing how to live any way, shape, or form, or how to play the game. What a problem. What a problem. And we think that there's a government out there that is trying to help us. In fact, there is. It's a very small effort that is getting through, that is being fucking hijacked right at the microphone as far as the people that they hire. And no, babes, what we're looking at, oh my God, please take care of yourselves. I would like to receive a donation here, right? Because I have to go to court. I'm going to court, not because I'm in trouble, but because I'm standing up for myself. I'm standing up for myself against people that want me to be in trouble. They think that I could be jacketed, and I'm just taking the jackets off, and I'm saying, excuse me, so please think about supporting somebody who is actually going to be doing this. See, I have to penetrate through these stupid fucking people called whoever is working at the courthouse over there. I've already been to jail 3 times, and if you want to know the story about that, I didn't do anything wrong. I did nothing to nobody. Those people are actually, they have something going on in their life that perhaps they don't know, that they should take care of that instead of, and I don't care who they work for, you don't bring that shit home and beat on your fucking neighbor about it. In fact, I'm about to shame all of these people on this block, but it's the whole fucking Earth population. It just doesn't look right, right? If there's a single woman here staying alone, really keeping the peace. See, I'm just going to tell my story. And then, no, these people that they're working hard, and I'm not saying that they own anything, but it's like, no, don't we live in the same place? No, they see me. No, they just choose not to be present to anybody but their stupid bubble. And where does that get them? Where are they going with that? To me, it's a fucking blackout. It's a flat line. It's just another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Hey, 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 another one bites the dust. Woo! And what do you got? Oh, you got another brick in the wall. Ba-dum, ba-dum, just good job. You're a fucking weapon, an obstacle course for the fact that human evolution might take place not only within you, but what if your neighborhood sets an example as to how to live here? What if your community starts setting an example as to how to live here, not how to kill and rake everybody over and stamp them down, but how to grow a decent ear of corn, or how to grow a bunch of apples and give them away, or have an apple pie ceremony or something fucking good like that. You people that live the way that the diabolics do, that you don't know that energy of just wholesome good fun. Okay, so sanctuary. Do you know that we're living in a time now that, if you can hear me, see, I want to sell out and I want to regroup. If it's just that I move up there. But see, I don't know why I need to do that. I think I can stay here and just say, fuck you, I ring a bell, and you people that are living shamelessly, it's really shamefully, are just going to be called out, and then what? We take your money, and then the economy gets stimulated again. Now that happened, that is supposed to happen on a massive scale, as long as the X-Files, the stupid fucking Epstein files are open. That's what the populace is supposed to do. You're supposed to take advantage of, just say, hey man, no. And this is all connected to satanic, diabolical shit. And see, only the Buddhas, you notice how the Buddhas were walking around, but is any of them saying, it is because your attachment that you're not getting anything done when you do protests of anything? It's because you're attached. You can't even think about never having your Kool-Aid or your fucking bacon in the morning, which is pure poison. They're joking. They made you eat that shit. You didn't choose to eat. You didn't choose to do any of your life. Yet you walk around proud, having succeeded, and with your what? Really is a bunch of insecure people that, boy, they don't want to be found out. That how pathetic they are inside. Really, it's just an insecurity, that's all. And see, they've never been in the presence of somebody who can actually bring them up out of it. Maybe they have mommy issue. Maybe mommy was diabolical. Maybe she was just so not really cut out to have a kid because she didn't learn love. She didn't convert that thing into a human. She was just a dispensary for a fucking asshole. And on it goes. Do pardon me, excuse me, and I think I deserve a lot more than just being shat on by these people that you couldn't convince not even your kids that you're having a great time. But see, the beautiful thing is, the fucking beauty of kids is that they'll break away. They'll just wait. They'll just say, fuck it, no, okay, I'm getting out here when I'm 18, fine. Otherwise, you're holding them hostage. If they want to leave, you should let them leave. You should try to find out what they want to do, but you're not. It's just a hand-me-down of success, man, for the diabolical government that says, yeah, one more, just, they want as much, they don't care about you, you're just a piece of meat going through the gauntlet and then drop them off. But they have their choice thing that they're doing, which is entire families are being paid to have babies. They're doing ultra mind control through trauma bonding and just fear inducing, and they make fresh babies come into their dinner parties. They're eating the endocrine. I mean, you don't want to hear about that, right? I don't want to share the planet with that anymore. You don't have to. All you have to do is just be the light, and they'll go away. They will just literally just scatter and parasite. It doesn't belong here. It needs hosts. And guess what those hosts are? They are disembodied people. They are not, see, they're, talk about just too much of it going on to where they are able to become, sorry, I just got to find the fucking pen and get this lesson over with. You've heard of the Hungry Ghost Society, but they are hosts. And the thing about the host that carries the parasite, which that's what was going on with the vaccines. They put that parasite in there. Whatever it is, it's just a parasite. Information coming from another place. It's just an electrical vibration. They can do it. The thing about the hosts that carry the parasite, see, the hosts will eventually die from that parasite, and then the parasite dies also. And that's what we're heading towards as far as a massive changeover. See, people, the Trump administration and the people like that, they know that there is, well, in fact, it's already World War III a long time ago. That's what they were announcing with the climate change announcement. And then it was started right when they said, pandemic, and they sent some rockets out in the form of the vax. And they created hosts there. In fact, those were ghosts that fell for it. They just don't have a good sense of themselves, right? They're not a reliable source of informing. No, your ghosts are just like regurgitation of what the government and the education system and you know those types, right? There's a lot more awake than what meets the eye, and this thing right here, it's vital that we connect with each other, because in my area, no, on my block, nope, there isn't a human being there. No, they don't know how to live and talk. They're busy doing something other than, and they have some women there that they look like women, but no, they're holding them hostage. I see that. The big thing for American men or whatever patriarchal shit, I don't know, is they like the submissive man. They think that, babes, it's so terrible because all it is programming. And it can be unprogrammed away from that stupid shit. Men are susceptible to this, and this is what the problem again. And so, you women, would you please stop? Because they're coming out of you. We can't do anything but fucking talk to you about it, because the man is running as a bot, programmed a certain way, and it's dangerous. It is, unless they're true. They have a good software still that says, wait a minute, no, I want to be loved. I want to be in with the right crew. I don't want this constant overworking and hard. And see, a man won't figure out that he doesn't know anything at all about love or anything until he has gone through the gauntlet of, I got the job, I got the wife, I got the family, and now we're doing the holidays. And it's like that, right? And it's like, but they didn't really find love. Why? Well, because that woman was probably running for her life. And that needs to stop. Because that's how she's being taken advantage of, and that's how that the farm is fucking perpetually creating shit for the technological base to start sifting through, and it does that just through communications. It just says, look what's happening here. Baloney. Baloney over here, and we got baloney over there, and there's baloney in the back and baloney in the front. What are you, folks?